Okay, we're recording? Okay, all right. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ron Frazier. I'm entrepreneur in residence here. I was the second entrepreneur in residence hired. This is my 9th year. I had a very, very successful corporate career. Took 2 companies public, retired at 51. Thought I wanted to play golf every day. Found out that was just hanging out with grouchy old white guys. That is not what I want to do all day. So I had to find something to do. And a friend said, hey, they're looking for an entrepreneur in residence over at FSU. And I came over, and it's just, it's a dream job for me. So I know a number of you, but there's a number of you I don't know. So to make this as pertinent as possible, let's start over in this corner and just talk a little bit about your business idea, who you are and your business idea. Okay. Are you working with any faculty members with the VR? Or? Okay. There's a gentleman on campus named Tom Makota, and Tom was the senior visual effects guy on Avatar, King Kong. He's here doing VR projects. So he's got what? He's worked for Weta. That means a great deal to her. And the truth of the matter is, I have to tell a little story about that. So because he shared the other day, how did he get the job with Weta? Well, he loves to surf. He went to Australia. And he said, well, while I'm over here, maybe I ought to apply for a job. And he applied for a job he didn't meet any of the requirements for. Went into interview, and the guy said, well, we need about 100 people, and you've got a pulse. And so, so he ended up working for one of the top visual effects companies in the world. So great story from that perspective. Okay, cool. Okay, and you, sir? Okay. Okay. And what do you want to do long term? Well, you got to jump in both feet. You can't just dip your toes. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's great.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we can record everybody talking, so we're gonna pass this
You just
around.
have to hold the cube.
Oh, okay.
That's the magic cube.
The magic cube. Who was next? Ta-da!
All right, fire away, young man.
I'm Hunter. I'm a prospective entrepreneurship major, and my business is Sun-Grown Bakery with Courtney. I'll pass it on to her.
Hi, yes. My name is Courtney. I'm a senior in the entrepreneurship major, and within the major, I was lucky enough to develop Sun-Grown Bakery, which is a bakery that helps reduce the Earth's carbon footprint and reduce human anxiety. Basically means we make vegan desserts that have a line infused with CBD. We'll be at Cat Fest on October 20th. Check us out.
And last year we went through quite a bit of concern by the administration here about, well, there was some confusion about being a cannabis business, and so, but it's not, okay? Fortunately, Courtney had explained to me the difference, so when we had the discussion, I could explain the difference. The other thing she could say is, well, they're already selling CBD oil at Market Wednesday, so there really isn't much you can do to slow this down. And third thing I'd say, very determined young lady, we weren't going to stop her anyway, so. Yes, sir.
My name is Ellie Diaz. I'm a chemistry and computer science double major. My 2 team members aren't here right now, but we are working on a way to make the food industry and customer relationship more efficient through some machine learning technology. And yeah, I don't want to get too into specifics because we don't really know exactly how we're going to organize ourselves, but that's pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah, we just had a speaker in my technologies class, and he spoke on, so he had an idea of starting a machine learning company working with the motion picture industry. Got the 6 major motion picture studios to fund it as a R&D effort at the University of Southern California. And then because it's just an R&D project, he said, well, I'll tell you what, anything that needs to become a product, why don't you just give me the IP? And they did, and he's off and running. Cool idea.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm a senior. My major is computer engineering. I'm actually working with Tom Makoda, the guy you mentioned.
Okay.
We're working on it's a virtual camera controller for CGI use in film. So essentially it's making a camera that like typical directors and cinematographers use, but like in a virtual world, so it's feel familiar and easy for them to use. It's part of our senior design project at the School of Engineering. We're doing it with the School of Film.
Hey, I'm Colby, and I'm a freshman, and I'm working with my sister, and she couldn't really be right here right now, but we don't know what we're going to do yet, so we're looking for some inspiration, but we definitely want to be here.
Hello, my name is Ryan Rossi. I'm a senior studying digital media production. I'm not really working on anything right now. My professor just recommended me to come to this workshop. I didn't really know if I had to be working on something to be here, so.
No.
I mean,
Glad to have you.
Hi, I'm Paxton Perry. Me and my partner Davis and my other partner Lena are working on starting a caffeinated smoothies company. We're gonna bottle them and sell them. And I'm a mass media and communications major.
Hi, I'm Davis. Our company is called Sonrisa Beverages. It means smile in Spanish, but it also kind of sounds like sunrise, so it gives you that happy morning vibe we're looking for. Some problems we're facing with our business right now. Smoothies don't always taste good, so we're working on that. But we don't want to add sugar to them because we feel like that takes away from the healthy aspect that we're trying to go for here. We also don't know if our customers would rather have a caffeinated smoothie or if they want a caffeinated smoothie with added protein, with added electrolytes. Are they drinking these in the morning? So we're doing a lot of market research right now. That's kind of where we are. We're also debating having some kind of social twist to our business, right? To make it more appealing and just because it's great to give back in a social way, right? So maybe for every drink that's sold, 50 cents is donated to underfunded schools and arts programs or something of that nature. But finding a way to connect a smoothie that contains caffeine to a social issue in the real world and then using the profits to benefit them in some way. Yeah, just an idea we have.
I have to tell a quick story about David. So he is in my entrepreneurial experiences class, and we gave him each $25 and said, how much money can you raise in 2 weeks' time? And he wanted to have a car bashed so bad. And he talked somebody in town into donating a car. And he talked somebody in town into towing the car over to campus. Right? Okay. But he talked to, I don't know how many businesses, but everybody on Gain Street looking for a spot to park the car to bash it, but couldn't come up with anybody. And then at the last minute came up with the idea of, well, it'll just be a mobile bash. And so they towed it around on a trailer. And,
On the back of William's car, actually.
Oh, yeah.
People are smashing glass everywhere and it's flying all over William's car. And William's like, it's fine, whatever, I'll be fine.
But you're part of that team too, right, William?
Yeah, I was.
Give due credit there, I apologize.
Thank you, yeah. Well, Ron gave us the idea to put on a trailer, so really made things happen. My name is William. I'm a junior in the Jim Moran School, and my business is WWM Services. I do the event setup and tear down at the Jim Moran Institute building downtown. And I hope my future holds something within the hemp industry.
It's just the Jim Moran building. Because the school's in there too.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Lavender. I am a graduate student here at the School of Public Health. I'm also a full-time employee for FAMU College of Pharmacy. My group and I were coming up with some sort of technology to make research a little bit easier in health consumer informatics.
Anything specifically, or?
So we were, initially we were considering doing an app for Alzheimer patients and their caregivers, but that's still up in the air. But that's one of the options.
I think we got everybody. Okay, all right, okay. All right, so really the purpose of the day is to help you out and give you information and hopefully give you some thoughts and ideas and things to go forward. So it's meant to be very interactive, jump in and, okay? All right. If it goes forward here. I turned everything on, right? No, it's on. Oh, there we go. Okay. That was a little bit about me. We already did that. Okay. All right. So I start with how do most business ideas get started, right? There's kind of a hint there, right? Most business ideas get started. Oh, go ahead. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Typically over a beer, right? Right, seriously, do you ever hear anybody say, oh, yeah, well, we were having some brie and a little wine, and we came up with this idea? Nobody says that, right? Right, it's a little bit there, right? And sometimes you get up the next morning and, and it's a great idea, right? It's written on a bar, napkin, but this is intermittent here. Okay. Am I too far away? Oh, I didn't want to be blocking the screen. Well, there we go. Now we're on a roll. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So maybe it's a great idea, and then maybe again it's not that great idea. I'll probably have to move that table over here for these, but anyway, we'll keep moving. Okay. But there is a process you can follow, right? And here are some basic steps, right? Talking about generating your idea, and you guys are, a number of you are still working on your idea, but you're working on your idea, doing some research, and like the library here, Trip Wyckoff, wonderful resource if you're not familiar with him. Worked for a big database research company, can do just about database on any, or information about just any industry you want to talk about. Technology, licensing, protecting your idea. I think there's other webinars that cover that, or seminars that cover that. Market validation product, right? Okay. And we're going to really talk about like the technical part of it, right? So the first question I ask, how many people have an advisory board? Anybody have an advisory board? So an advisory board is a group of people that you maybe meet with maybe once a month, once a quarter, have industry expertise, have various expertise, as diverse as possible would be the ideal scenario. Right, and they share their thoughts and ideas. You share your thoughts and ideas, and then they give you feedback about them, right? Okay? So I highly recommend, now, it's different than a board of directors, right? So a board of directors is associated with, say, a corporation, and the role of the board of directors is to hire or fire the CEO. That's not what you want in your business, right? But a board of advisors, you don't have to follow their advice, but you do need to take their advice into consideration. And I would start looking around campus, around Tallahassee, Windy plant in the back, I'm sure most of you know, probably all of you know. A great source for the mentoring program, and getting some people that can help you out, some people that have years and years of industry experience. Yeah. And it's a group of people. There's an incredibly large number of people in Tallahassee that are just really into the whole scene and would love to be part of your advisory board and give you thoughts and ideas. And again, you consider them. As far as your web development tools, how many people have a website up and running? Okay, so maybe roughly half, right? If not, I kind of recommend you do it in Wix. I know it's not the ideal tool, but I can guarantee you this. If you go out and pay the Tallahassee standard of $1,500, or you go out and pay $5,000 and you have a website built, the first thing you're going to find out is, I don't like this website, right? I mean, it's almost invariable. So why not just get something up so you can get some customer traffic going, and then figure out what you really want on your website? Right? Weebly is another one that requires no HTML or internet expertise, right? You can always do it in WordPress. There are a ton of videos out there that will show you how to build a website in any of these. Here's some other tools and some videos, and this presentation will be presented, so you can go out and look at those, right? Here's some specific to WordPress. One thing to do is do they have to get a website up and running for the competition? Or? I just add one little thought to that too in the presentations, right? How you perform, and it really is a performance in the presentation, is very important, right? We had a gentleman a couple of years ago, I happened to be a judge that year, I think. He gave his presentation, went and sat down, and they asked the judges for comments, and one of the judges says, you know, I don't like your idea at all. He said, but I think the world of you. I'll hire you before you walk out of this building today if you're interested. Right? Okay? So the first thing you got to do when you make a presentation for this competition is you got to impress the judges about you personally. Some great data, the 4-hour blog about how to use Shopify. Right? Again, okay? The simplest approach is Wix for web development and Shopify for e-commerce. And you can pretty well figure both of those out on your own. Right? If you do need a web developer, and I'll acknowledge that he's a business partner on a separate venture, but Hamal Patel is a graduate of FSU. I think he's been out of school 8 or 9 years. He has never worked for anybody else in his life. He started a web development company here in Tallahassee. It took him a few years to get rolling, but he's been very, very successful. He's an expert in talking about this, all the clicking and the advertising and the Google AdWords, right? He's also good at the pixels. How many people are familiar with the concept of a pixel? I know a few are. Right? Okay, so the concept of a pixel is, right, I can have a pixel in my website, and if somebody comes and hits my website, I capture their email address, and I can come back later and advertise to them. Oh, okay, sure. I believe that's still correct. It's KB Studio. I don't know if he's still org or he went to .com. I'll check and get that to you. But he's an FSU grad. He's very into giving back to FSU. He'd be happy to help you out. In terms of marketing size and keyword suggestions, right, you can get into this whole concept of search engine optimization. Everybody familiar with that? The Google ranking and, okay, right? We can help you with that. Low-cost domain registration, right? About as cheap as you can do it. Hosting services, right? So once you've created a web page, then you've got to have a hosting service for it to set on. Can we turn off the like the mic for a minute and move this table over here? Okay, hang on just a second. Oh, turn it off here. Oh. Oh, well, yeah, good luck on the hair. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, where did the clicker go? Okay, we're back on? Okay, we're back at it. Okay, so hosting service. So, hey, so you create a website, which is to say you create the code that's going to make your website, present your website to the world. Okay, but that code has to set somewhere. Okay, and so where it sets is at a hosting center. Yeah. Okay, so you know how sometimes when you're in your browser and you see like that 16-digit number, it's like four digits dot, 4 digits dot, 4 digits dot, 4. Okay, that's the actual address of your website. Okay, and that specific address sits in a hosting center somewhere, and then anywhere in the world, when you type in the name of your website, it goes to the first directory, right? So the hosting centers have a directory there. It looks in that directory, bless you. It looks in that directory and says, oh, this is the number of the website you want to go to. I don't have that one. It's over in England. And then it starts the path across the internet to get to where your code for your website is setting. That make sense? They are, because I ran a whole bunch of them when I was with PSI. They are basically bomb shelters with servers in them. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's nothing to see there, right? They just try to keep them cool and, yeah, and redundant servers, yeah, so, yeah. You mean the physical site or the? Yeah, you can go to their sites, right? Yeah. You can go to their sites and sign up to, hey, I'm going to have, yeah, I'm going to use you as a host and I'm going to send you the data for my web page. Probably should have had our electrical engineering friends. All right, so you can get that. There's a whole bunch of ways to get photos, right? So without paying for them, for the most part. And if you want to go to like Getty Images, which has a price, or you can do iStock photos. There's also a way you can look in Google. When you Google and you go to images, you can go over to the side, and it'll tell you whether that there are any restrictions or not on that photo. If there are no restrictions on that photo, then you're free to stick it in your web page or do whatever you want to with it. If there are restrictions on it, then you got to comply with those restrictions. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, this will all be put. All right. And there's a very, very talented photographer in the back of the room. Yeah. 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 Right. I follow her on Facebook. I see a lot of her work. Yeah, she does a great job. Also, there's a senior in the College of Entrepreneurship who's very talented. Guess everybody didn't want to see my fanny there, but neither did the camera. Okay, there we go. Now we're back to it. Okay. So, any questions yet? For tracking, email sign-up tracking, and scheduling autoresponders, there's a couple of, right? MailChimp is probably the most popular one, or the most well-known one, right? For understanding what's going on, you can get most of the data you need from Google Analytics. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simply documented, but it tells you who's going to your website, right? What are they looking at? How long are they staying? What are they looking at the longest? How often do they come and look? There's some other products too, but you can probably get everything you ever need out of Google Analytics. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you want to do A/B testing, I know the engineers know A/B testing, but everybody else familiar with A/B testing? Which is essentially giving you like two different, sending one user group one website, let's say, opening page, and another user group another opening page, and seeing which one attracts, gets the most attention, gets people to stay the longest. Right? You can measure that through Google Analytics. Low-cost toll-free numbers, right? So if you want to have people can call in, leave a message, right? You can also, there's a number of books, and I think there's some in the library, on chatbots. Everybody familiar with the chatbot? Okay. Yeah, so it's, what? Those are low-cost toll-free numbers, right, if you want to have people calling in. Yeah, I do too, but I didn't use it for so long, they killed it on me. Since I wasn't, yeah. Yeah, you can also use the Google number, okay? There's a number of books out there. It's really simple to write a chatbot, right? Okay, so that starts the process of answering users' questions without you having to answer them on the phone. Got a young lady here who started a business called Dorm Baskets. So parents can order off of her website very, very attractive, somewhat customized basket to send to their child who's in college here. Very, very successful, very, very profitable, very, very time consuming because some mothers call up and want to talk for an hour or two about, you know, everything that's going on and about their child's experience at FSU. And this young lady is trying to, you know, graduate and get her schoolwork done and get as well as run her business. And she's spending 2 hours on the phone talking to some dear sweet lady in Boca that works about her child's experiences at FSU. So, and she enjoys that experience, but she's just finding as more and more customers, right? And there's somewhere, if my number's right, do you remember the numbers from Alibaba? I think Alibaba handles, I don't know, it's millions of calls a day. Yeah, via chatbot. So they answer the questions, right, via chatbot. Something to think about. Something I think would also impress the judges in Innovation Challenge, right? And you could say, not okay, here's how you go about ordering from my website. No, by the way, if you have questions, here's where you type in the question, and I have a chat bot set up, and it automatically answers the question. I think that would be a big plus. These are sites you can go to for competitive sites. Data. We had a gentleman talking one of my classes the other day who actually goes out and runs this for local business people and says, okay, well, here's what your competitors are doing. And here's the things they're doing differently than you and why it's potentially attracting more attention than your website is attracting. So let's make these modifications to your website. Freelance designers, and so you can go out there for a very, very inexpensive price. You want to get a very attractive logo built for your company. You can basically describe what it is you'd like to have. You can go out there. It's essentially a contest, a whole bunch of people. Who knows, right? How many people might do the graphics to create your website, take a look at it, and then you pick out the one, and you only pay for the one you like, right? So, where else in the world can you go get a whole bunch of websites or logos designed for free, right? Except for the one you pay for. What? All of those do that. And what is it, Fiverr? Yeah. Fiverr is probably the most popular one. This slide's full of old, but Fiverr's the most popular one. They actually did mine. If you go out and look at Rocinante VR. Yeah. So if you have no artistic talent whatsoever, don't worry about it. Just figure out basically, if you can describe it, right, and a whole bunch of people can add their artistic abilities to it, and then you can figure out. Okay, actually, there's the one right? So I just said, basically, I'm going to do a VR company. I think the concept is Rocinante, which was, what's his name? Okay. The guy who chased windmills. Wow, 62 years. Don Quixote, yeah, the 60-year-old brain is not processing tonight. Don Quixote's horse was called Rocinante, right? So, and the whole concept of Don Quixote is he kind of lived in his own virtual reality world. So I thought, hey, this is the perfect name for a virtual reality blog, right? So I said, okay, world, I want the horse to be purple because I love the color purple. And you've got to have VR glasses on, and it needs to be a caricature. That's basically what I gave them. I loved a whole bunch of them, but that one I absolutely adored that one. Cost me like $5. Yeah, you get to see a whole bunch of versions, and then you get to pick the version you want to go with. Yeah. Yes. It's done. It's yours. Yeah, you paid for it. It's a work for hire is the legal term. Yeah. About that. Okay. Talk a little bit about emerging technologies and how they might fit into what's going on here. Moto Labs, and the Moto Labs people come here, and Moto Labs actually has an interface with Canvas, right? And so you can, with no programming skills, you can build a mobile app. And I think they have a competition on campus. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, an Ideathon, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very what? Oh, yeah, the Ideathon, yeah. Yeah, so the young lady who, one of the key young ladies in the company is actually an FSU grad, right? And she started working out with it as Canvas was coming on board campus, building apps in it, and just fell in love with the technology. And so just went up and went to work for the company in Boston. That's like last year. That's last year's slide. Right? Sorry. She is coming. Yeah, I know. I've seen emails that she's coming. I don't know exactly when she's coming. Yes, ma'am. It has an interface to Canvas somehow. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So if you really want to build like an FSU specific app or something, or at least get started at FSU, you could do that. And Canvas is growing pretty well. Canvas is growing. How many? Probably none of y'all ever experienced Blackboard, right? Did you? Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. So do you know what the customer satisfaction percentage is among faculty of Blackboard? Now Canvas is a lot better, yeah. Yeah, Blackboard had a 98% disapproval rating by faculty, so, right, yeah. And it was a multi-million-dollar, and so really what came up was they needed to rewrite it to make it run it on the web, right? And we had like 20 people supporting that crazy Blackboard here at FSU, full-time employees. Now it's all done on the web, and there's no FSU employee. There's people doing the training, but in terms of technical support, we don't have anybody supporting it. But you can write Anna. She's chatty. She'll be happy to talk to you. The 3D printing. Anybody going to be using 3D printing in there? Obviously, we've got printers over at the InNOLEvation Lab, and Thingiverse is just one of a multitude of companies that have a whole bunch of designs already out there. You can just go out and pick one out, and then you can modify it. And you can modify it with some really simple things like Tinkercad. You can't do real sophisticated things, but you can at least do something. You know, and a student in my class make a really cool Parthenon. Image of the Parthenon, about that big. And the other company is Covalent. Everybody familiar with Covalent? So Covalent is a virtual reality company based here in Tallahassee. Their offices are right downtown. They'd be happy to have you come by and visit anytime. Thomas Jackson runs it. Just go in and say, Ron sent me. And he'll give you a tour of the place. They have a number of students working for him. Might be something you guys have considered the virtual reality route. Obviously, we got the in the hub, and then Tom Makotas, I was saying earlier, is probably the guru on campus right now. He's doing some really, really cool. And he's hoping to come up with a motion lab too, right, where you put the sensors on. Yeah, I don't know how far out he is on that, but yeah, that's pretty cool, right? So I did that 2 summers ago. I just put the sensors on your ankles, your knees, your waist, your shoulders, your arms, and then they make an avatar out of you, and like boom, and then you walk around. Not that avatar, but an avatar of me. And then you walk around in virtual reality, and they can show it on the screen. It's pretty cool. From a database perspective and research, Trip Wyckoff, he works in the library. He is a liaison with, he was a liaison with the business school. I think I don't know whether he still is or not, but he also with the College of Entrepreneurship, but he'd help any student. He used to work at Hoover's, which is a big business database firm. and he can get you information on just about anything. So, market size or anything like that, if you're, obviously you're going to have that slide in your presentation that says this is how big the market is, right, and all that data. If you can't readily find that for your particular business, you can do it. Master Craftsman Studio, anybody familiar with that? Okay, so Master Craftsman Studio is down on Gaines Street, right about where that, what do you call that thing? Well, yeah, okay, the roundabout, and then it's got like a spear in it, right? Okay, so they're like just south of that, okay? So it is part of FSU. They're very nice people. They're very helpful. They do some incredible things, molding glass in particular, and they are unique in the world in some of the things they're doing with those curved glass. Okay. We had a student last year who wanted to make little metal spheres, like the FSU sphere, and it opened a beer bottle, and then it also had a hole to so you could shotgun it. Yeah, I'm 62. Give me a break, guys. I mean, okay, yeah, but it's cool, and he sold them at a pretty high profit at our expo in the spring, and he sold it for like $40. Yeah, he was a veteran, and he wanted to, apparently when you're on like the GI Bill, they don't pay for the books, and so he wanted to generate money for the books, and so he came up with this business idea, and he went down and talked to a master craftsman guy about it, and the conversation was kind of not going anywhere, and our student happened to mention that he was a veteran, and the guy's face lit up. He said, "Oh, I'll help you here. I'll design it for you. I'll make them for you." All right, and so he started making for him down at Master Craftsman Studio. So an incredible group of very, very talented people there. There is a facility for art research. It's up, most students have never seen this part of Tallahassee, but it's up North Monroe, north of I-10. It's across from Sam's, more or less, somewhere right in there, okay? They have got every kind of 3D printer you can imagine. They've got one that'll print, it's bigger, it prints an area bigger than truck bed. Massive 3D printing. They also got some incredible laser cutters. So it's mostly as a research facility, but if you want to experiment with some things, we can get you an introduction up there. And what's the guy that makes the furniture? Yeah, Nick O'Donnell. Yeah, Nick O'Donnell. I don't know if you're familiar with Nick, but Nick was into everything when he was in school here. And loved doing. He actually made the chairs, I think, upstairs in the lobby area, right? That's his. Yeah, that big old wooden chair, right? But we plugged him into them, and they work together. So they'll work with you. And then the High Performance Materials Institute. I assume the engineers are familiar with that, but probably a lot of you aren't. So out in Innovation Park, there's a huge facility. They can build just about anything in the world, right? So they've got laser cutters, they've got 3D augers, they've got actually they've got a gene splicing. Nobody talked about gene splicing and genes, but they got that in there. They can weld anything. They can just weld or build about anything, right? So, huge facility. Yes, sir. At this time I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't. Yeah, but I mean they had an incredibly wide range of printers. Yeah, and a lot of expertise on the subject. Right? Yeah. So really, if you think about HPMI, is really a makerspace on steroids. It's not anything you'd ever want to do out there. Again, I talked about putting together an advisory board, and I highly recommend you do that. Probably somebody with some like marketing skills, business skills, probably somebody with maybe some technical skills. You got to kind of figure out what you need, but it's unbelievable the resources that are around here. And feel free to email me if you're looking for any particular skill set. great believer, Mike Vance, who started Disney University and also was the first non-real estate attorney, or non-real estate person or attorney from the Walt Disney Group to come to Orlando. Or some in the room needs to know what they're talking about. So that's one of the reasons I really encourage you to have an advisory board. And don't sit around, like one of the saddest things I see is students have a great idea, but they just sit around and just wait because they don't have a certain skill set or they don't know how to do a certain thing. Don't sit around doing that, because that innovation challenge deadline is coming fast, right? So if you have some question, I'd be happy to field your emails anytime. So, but yeah, get some questions up. There's a whole bunch of emerging technologies. And there is somebody on this campus, at least somebody on this campus, that can address any of those topics there. Right? And a number of them, there's multiple people on this campus that can address them. So don't be afraid to ask. All right, so that's kind of what I had to say. Any questions or comments or? There's got to be a way you can do that on a smaller frame.
One would hope.
There's an entrepreneurial idea.
There's a small business right there.
Yeah, but you can't, we can throw this
Oh, yeah, oh, that's right, you can throw it.
gently. Any questions?
Anything?
Will you go back on
You could just chuck it to the next person, gently.
Okay. All right, so you have a blog.
Yeah.
So how did you get into that?
So, I went, I think 3 years ago, I went to South by Southwest and had the first track in virtual reality. Right? And I was blown away by where the technology was. And so I said, maybe I want to get involved in this. And maybe I want to write a piece of software, because I used to run a software development company. And then I got to looking into it, and there's so many moving pieces right now in VR, right? I mean, the production, the editing, the distribution, all that's not worked out, right? So you really have to get in there. I said, you don't know who's going to win that battle, right, in terms of developing that software. So I'm not going to go out and spend a whole bunch of money developing something and then find out, somebody your age in the garage came up with something so much better than I would have ever thought of, right? So I said, well, the way I'm going to stay on top of this business then is I'm going to create a blog, and then people will respond to my blog, and then my 3 grandchildren moved in with me, and my priorities changed.
So how do you fuel readers to that blog, or how do you gain some viewers to that, or how did you?
Well, I talked to a number of people that, like Kamal Patel and people that were marketing every day about how to get people on there. Yeah. And I don't have a whole bunch of viewers, but I don't have a whole bunch of content, so. It started out really cool. Writing the first 10 or 15 blog posts, right? And it kind of turned into a job. I really wasn't looking for another job.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Does it?
Do it.
So I would blog, not consistently with my photography business, but a really big thing with blogging is consistency. So finding your viewers and making sure you post at the same time, either every Wednesday you have a new post, or every two days have a post or something like that. And that's when you gain followers too. I mean, there's more to it than that, but that was one of the things that I gained when I was doing my photography blog, which is like another job. But consistency and all in like the SEO and what you actually have your title as helps gain traction as well. So, yes, cool.
You've got to get up to about 100 people, and then you can start to advertise. You don't want to start before you get about 100 followers because you fall so low in the Google ratings, you know, get back up there. But I did hear a young lady, she was 21 years old, 20, I think 20, maybe 21. And she was making over $1 million a year off of her blog. And basically all she did was putting out videos of her doing her hair in the morning, talking about getting ready for her day, and what she was doing, a blog of her breakfast. And but she had a huge number of followers, and she was, you know, living on her own in New York City. It was really boring content. Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna say about the blog, like, there's also a bunch of social media, like, schedulers. So it's super beneficial. You can take like 2 hours out of your day and just mass schedule posts to go like every like Tuesday, Thursday at 12:30 on Tuesdays, 1:45 on Thursdays, and like some of them will give you back analytics. Like if you, some of them are free, so they don't do that. They only go to like an extent, but it's super beneficial because like you don't have to worry about it. It's just posting, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got likes on a photo. I didn't even, oh, I did. I posted this. So it's like really helpful if you want to do that.
Because sooner or later, we're going to talk to somebody in the entrepreneurship program and create a blog about their experience in the entrepreneurship program.
I use Hootsuite. Because like you can schedule 30 posts for free. So like you can have 30 things like ready to be sent, and you can link 3 separate social media accounts for free. So I have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram linked up so that like they can just schedule. I can just schedule it, and you can have drafts if you have like over 30, and so you just wait for them to post and then you schedule those drafts. Or like you don't have anything scheduled, but you have drafts up there because you're like, I can post this day, that day, and you can just kind of look through. They don't particularly have great analytics because it's free, but it's free, so.
Is that sweet like sugar or sweet like a hotel?
Like a hotel room. Mhm.
Anything else? Okay, well, good luck, and like I say, I guess you posted my email address. Feel free to use me anytime. I will get back to you.
We should, do you know your work schedule? We'll put that in whenever we get to it.
I just know through Sunday.
That's fine.